Cool Runnings is a 1993 American sports film directed by John Turteltaub and starring Leon Robinson, Dougie Doug, Malik Yoba, and of course John Candy. It is loosely based on the true story of the Jamaica national bobsleigh team's debut in the competition during the 1988 Winter Olympics. Cool Runnings was released in the United States on October 1st, 1993 to generally positive reviews. And I want to do a review today of this film because this has been a movie I grew up as a child and I remember fondly. And I actually watched it recently because I feel like this movie fits well within December, within the holidays for some reason, because it took place in the Winter, Olympics in 1988, and I feel like, this film feels appropriate for this period of time. The one thing that I love about this movie is that while a lot of people have said this is a very corny Disney film, I absolutely feel that even with the corniness of this movie, rewatching it, there's so much heartfelt moments, there's so much passion that has been put in this movie, there's so much great acting and performances that I feel like it goes over really any of the corny elements that are present within this movie. So the movie is about basically you have a Jamaican sprinter played by Darius who trains to qualify the 100-meter race to the 1988 Summer Olympics. Well, in an accident, he actually fails to qualify, and he sees there might be an opportunity to do a bobsleigh team, which has never been done in Jamaica before, and try to go into the Winter Olympics. He has to convince people of doing this, and a lot of people see this as a ridiculous idea, but he gets 3 other people to be part of his team. His best friend Sanka and two other guys, one of them a rich kid who was able to actually fund this whole goal of getting to the Winter Olympics. And also they get John Candy, who was a bobsleigh coach, a guy who really is experienced and knows everything about a bobsleigh team. And at first he completely refuses to actually help him out, but through their persistence, they're actually able to convince John Candy's character of training them to be bobsled, to do this kind of bobsled idea and going to the Winter Olympics. And that's basically the story. And that's what I love about this movie, is that it is very simple, it's very straightforward, and while yes, it's questionable the accuracy of the story, I think that going into it, watching it, and seeing it as a Disney film, that's not something that you're concerned about going in. You want to see this film about these very much persistent athletes who are trying to go to the Winter Olympics. And that's what I love about this movie, is that it's not so much your typical kind of, oh, we're going to base this off a true story and go down that route. No, it's very much a standard film where you have this team of underdogs try their best to get to the Winter Olympics and really try to compete and win and attempt to do so. And at the end of the film, and this is spoilers of course, they fail in doing so, but they're congratulated either way. They still kind of come out, very much as these kind of celebrities, as these athletes who are praised by their country. In this very corny moment at the end of the movie where they crash, they pick up their bobsled, and they walk to the finish line, and that's a very much a memorable scene that I absolutely love in the film. The other thing is that John Candy in this movie as their coach is absolutely excellent. His performance is really great in this movie. I actually recently watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and while I liked him in that film, I feel like in comparison to that movie, he really just kills it in this movie. As he's very convincing, you see him as this coach who really doesn't want to do this. He's been caught cheating in the 1972 Winter Olympics, and he's really been disgraced. But here, he finally sees this opportunity through these guys, through these Jamaican athletes, of actually redeeming himself, going back to the Winter Olympics. And that's what I like, is that it's his story as well as the main character's story, the main Jamaican bobsledders. The one thing I've noticed about the cast in this movie, you have Leon Robinson who plays Darius, you have Dougie Doug who plays Sanka, and Malik Yoba who plays Yul Brynner. These actors I have never seen in other movies, to be honest with you. I think I've seen the actor who plays Sanka in something else, but I haven't seen Leon Robinson. I haven't seen, I think it's Raul D. Lewis, who's Junior, if I'm saying that, if I'm saying his name correctly. I've never seen him in anything else, and I think that their acting is actually pretty darn good, and I don't know, their performances were great in this movie, and I'm surprised that I haven't really heard of them doing anything else after this movie. It's kind of surprising to me. They really just, they made this film, got popular from this, and then that's it. Because the director really did a phenomenal job in telling this great story, this great sports story. Very simple sports story, that is, but it's great either way. I think that, yeah, it's also one of the things that watching this movie that I'm reminded of is that even though it's one of those kind of sports films, it's very short and it's very well paced too. There's no lulls or parts of the movie where it drags out, which I really enjoy that in this movie, is that the pacing is very tight. You go from one scene to the next, the kind of escalation of kind of drama and issues that plague the team, and there's no kind of slowdown in this movie, and that's what I liked. It's very much a tightly edited and well-made film, and it's from start to finish, it is what it is, a story of these athletes overcoming adversity and coming out basically on top. Even though they don't win in the end of the film, they still come out as basically sports heroes in a sense. And also, the other great aspect about this film is I love the soundtrack in this movie. I think, what was it? I Could See Clearly Now, The Rain Is Gone. That song, which is at the end of this film, is fantastic. That's the way I actually know this song is basically from this film. And I don't really know of it anywhere else. I've never really heard it on the radio, but when I heard it in this movie as a kid, it's very much one of my favorite songs to kind of play. It's very great. But there's also the main theme that's in this movie that I also find is fantastic as well. Overall, I'm kind of amazed that with this type of story, as standard as it is, as basic as it is, it's very memorable. And it's very great. It's excellent, actually, in the sense that it is funny. There's a lot of great humor in it. There's a lot of great performances in it, specifically John Candy, and it is a phenomenal movie. Even though it's somewhat of a short, very simplistic kind of setup, and we've seen this type of story done before, but it's done in a way that's actually excellent. And that's what I like about this movie. Actually, I would like to hear anybody else's review of this film. Leave a comment in the comment section down below what you guys think of Cool Runnings. I think it's an excellent movie. I know I spoiled a lot of elements of this. If you've never seen this movie before, go ahead and check it out. It's really great. Even with people saying that there's a lot of corniness in this movie, I actually kind of overlook those things, as I like the rest of what it is. As a complete package, the film is great in my opinion, even with the corniness. But yeah, definitely check out this film. Check out John Candy's performance. R.I.P. John Candy. We lost him too soon when he died, I think a year later. He was a phenomenal actor, and I think, we lost a great actor, but he really killed it in this movie. It was fantastic. So yeah, that's Cool Runnings. Check this film out, and like always, everybody, I hope you guys have a wonderful day.